It's no secret that China has been kind of leading the way when it comes to green energy and enacting a lot of new policies to help combat their pollution, which they're famous for. I mean, everyone's aware of it. This is something that I've read about, I've studied a little bit, and I'm interested to see how it takes hold here in China. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rojo Reads the News. I am your host, Paul. Remember, if you like what you see, please consider supporting me. Today, I have an original piece from Sixth Tone. If you don't know Sixth Tone, they're a fantastic organization. Some very, very interesting articles, many of them too long for me to read on this channel. But this is one from Li Yao, and I wanted to share it with you because it's about the environment. It's about business. China unveils rules for the national carbon trading scheme. I believe this is similar to the cap and trade kind of scheme that you hear about in the West. Over 2,200 high-emitting entities in the domestic energy sector will be required to publicly disclose their annual emission data or face fines. China's top environmental authority on Tuesday released pilot guidelines for the country's national carbon trading scheme, years after it was conceived to develop low-carbon industries and curb air pollution. The Ministry of Ecology and Environment said the new guidelines will apply to 2,225 entities in the country's power sector that annually emit at least 26,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. Wow, that's a lot. Jeez. Though other sectors will also be included in the future, the ministry will decide the total emission allowance and allocation plans depending on factors including economic growth, energy structure, and emission control targets. The carbon trading scheme is an exchange of emission credits between companies to limit greenhouse gases and phase out coal-fired power generators. Companies included in the scheme can choose to either cut emissions or purchase emission allowances from other emitters. If at the end of each year companies are unable to pay off their emission allowances on time and in full, they will be fined between 20,000 yuan and 30,000 yuan for excessive discharge. I've seen schemes like this. My personal opinion on this is that those fines are far too low. You know, I've seen this in other industries where they try to curb certain behaviors and impose fines on. This happens a lot in construction. This happens a lot in real estate and finance. And what ends up happening is these companies will pro forma those fines into the cost of doing business. It becomes almost like an extra tax that they have to pay, and it doesn't really do enough to curb the emissions. So these fines, I personally believe they're a little too low and won't have enough teeth. I'd really like to see fines a little bit higher than this. The national carbon trading market has started its first compliance period on January 1st, just over 3 years after China announced it would roll out such a scheme nationwide. The new rules announced Tuesday will come into full effect on February 1st. Okay, so just a few weeks ago. The carbon market is necessary for carbon neutrality. Without a carbon market, it is difficult to achieve the carbon neutrality target, Ling Boqiang, director of the China Institute of Studies in Engineering Policy at Xiamen University, told Sixth Tone, referring to China's goal to going carbon neutral by 2060. The carbon market can improve the competitiveness of renewable energy and suppress fossil fuel consumption, Lean added. Okay, I'm all for this. This sounds good to me so far. Let's read on. The new guidelines stipulate that emitters should disclose their annual greenhouse gas emissions to the public. Those caught falsifying or concealing emissions data or refusing to fulfill their disclosed obligations will face fines ranging from 10,000 yuan to 30,000 yuan. Again, not enough. Not enough. It needs to be 10 times that amount or 100 times that amount. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I'm just an English teacher vlogger, you know. All right. The power sector in China's biggest emitting industry, accounting for over 43% of the country's total carbon emissions. It was selected as the first industry to be included in the carbon trading market in 2017. That makes sense, I think, right? Since 2011, 7 major provinces and cities, including Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen, have launched regional emission trading schemes on a trial basis. By November 2020, such pilot projects covering nearly 3,000 factories in over 20 sectors, including power, steel, and cement, according to the Ministry of Ecology and Environment. These regional pilot schemes have seen carbon leakage in recent years, as factories have relocated to evade regulation. He added that rolling out a nationwide carbon trading market will help solve such issues. That is true. That does happen very, very regularly. Factories move very, very quickly to avoid regulation, tax schemes, labor shortages, or labor costs. I mean, this happens in every country in the world, and it happens within every kind of region in that country. Regional pilot schemes can ensure regional emissions reductions, but other places may see their emissions increase. Thus, it can actually be effective when it's a nationwide scheme or even a global one. If we are to combat climate change, and I'm not a climate change denier, it's a very obvious thing. You look at the science, it's obviously happening. And I see what the green industry has done in China for jobs, for the economy here. There's many examples of it. All you got to do is point to the electric car industry here and how that's blowing up and eventually going to be exported out to the rest of the world. Green energy jobs are the future. They are increasing. The wages are increasing, and fossil fuel consumption is decreasing, and the jobs are decreasing in those sectors. This is the future, and I applaud this idea that it can go nationwide, and I also think that this would be a good thing to go globally. In the last 4 years, we have not seen very much leadership from my country. I'm hopeful that that will change, and that we can all lead this effort together. What do you think? Comment below, let me know. fcustom.com is where you can go to get customized jerseys such as the one I have on right now. You can get them in baseball, basketball, and football. They are completely 100% your choosing. These make great gifts. They're wonderful for corporate teams, little leagues, your small business, families, or just a gift to a special someone. Hit the link below and enter the coupon code Walkabout Rojo for an additional 10% off your purchase. Don't forget to check out my main vlog channel, Walkabout Rojo, my general life here in China and throughout Asia. We'll see you there.